Hello everyone! Today we're going to be jumping back into Historic Brawl with Bolas, the Dragon God. Now this is a Grixis Planeswalker, so it's going to cost blue, black, 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 red. Very specific mana costs here. And Bolas has the added benefit of having all loyalty abilities of all other Planeswalkers, so that's us and our opponents included. As a +1 ability, we get to draw a card, and our opponent will exile a card from their hand or a permanent they control, which is very powerful. We can also use the -3 ability to destroy a creature or Planeswalker, and if we do get all the way up to 8 loyalty, we can do our -8 ability here and have each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or Planeswalker lose the game. So this in itself is a game-ending effect. Now going through the rest of the deck, we've got a lot of what you'd expect to see out of Grixis. We've got some pretty strong counter spells. In blue, we've got some discard and removal effects with black, and red gives us access to, again, some more removal and some just strong threats here. We're actually just dipping into red a little bit. We've got Fable, we've got Banditry here, which is going to act as an enchantment-based board wipe that can ramp us a little bit, give us our treasures. Ragavan is probably among the strongest red 1-drops. And then we are including All Will Be One here because we're playing a Planeswalker-based deck. We're going to be putting lots of loyalty counters on things, as we have many different Planeswalkers in this deck, all of which have very important jobs for getting us closer to the end of the game. And that's looking pretty good. Now, we are still including the One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters, even though they have both been nerfed just a bit by the alchemy updates. They are still going to be very powerful cards for us in this deck and offer us a lot of utility over the course of the game. The mana base is a convoluted mixture of all of the lands in our colors, trying to make sure that we're able to actually hit those mana requirements for Bolas, getting him out onto the battlefield as early as possible. Now, if you guys have been enjoying my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest videos, and if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, opponent going first, and we're playing into Atraxa. I'm going to go ahead and keep this opening hand. We're going to start with our tapped Mystic Sanctuary, because I want to really speedrun getting Bolas out, which we can on turn 3, which is going to be absolutely insane with Dark Ritual here. Alright, our opponent has Karuga as their companion as well, so I'm not expecting to really see anything out of them these first couple of turns. Alright, this is where our opponent is finally going to have access to the 3 mana they'll need for most of the cards in their deck. And they just bring Karuga into their hand, so let's just go ahead, Dark Ritual. Turn 3 Bolas. Plus here. Draw a card. We find Ragavan. Very strong. Opponent's going to have to exile something. They pick the Midnight Clock. Alright, Binding's gonna kill Bolas, but that's fine. Will be painful. Now, what do we want to do here? I think we'll go ahead and pick blue. We'll untap. Let's play Narset. Play Ragavan. Activate Narset's ability here. We're going to grab Wash Away. Our opponent's going to know that we have it, but that's going to make it so much harder for them. They're not going to be able to resolve this Atraxa as long as we hold up 1 blue mana. Ragavan's going to start hitting our opponent as well, which is going to be very powerful. Touch the Spirit Realm, going to hit Ragavan, and that's fine. Let's start getting our black mana out onto the battlefield. Mount Doom is just going to be better here. activate and see what we find.
Trick for this.
Two solid options. I think I want the gauntlet, though. We're gonna play this out. We can now start proliferating with our planeswalkers. Thinking next turn we might go all will be one. Karuga, draw a card. Except they can't because we have Narset. Alright, I think we go all will be one here. Let's proliferate. Additional counter here. 1 damage. Ping our opponent. Of course, Karuga kills Narset. That makes sense.
I have reached my limit.
We're getting close to some of our other planeswalkers, though. Again, opponent won't be able to cast Atraxa. First of all, they don't have the mana they need, and also we're holding up Wash Away. I want to keep holding up Wash Away as well. Alright, making some bears. That's fine. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and play this out. We're gonna go ahead and do this, and then we're gonna pick here black. Tapping like this. Doesn't matter. ETB, 4 damage. Gonna kill Karuga.
Will rise from your corpses.
Let's draw a card.
You know nothing of Atraxa's.
Extra counter here. 1 damage. Ping our opponent. We now also brought Vraska outside of range for the bears. Looking really good. Holding up Wash Away. Flux Channeler might be a strong play for next turn. Yeah.
I can taste your fear.
Alright, well, let's go play the Hall. I think we want Resco here. Midnight Clock with those counters is going to start helping us out a lot. We do have Saw It Coming that we can use. Alright, looking good. Midnight Clock acquired. Let's see, we'll go Flux Channeler here. We'll draw a card, lose a life, proliferate.
Embrace the inevitable.
1 damage. Interesting. I think I'm actually okay with that just going back into our hand. End the turn. Yep. We're saving Wash Away. If we lose Vraska here, that's fine. Again, just holding on to Wash Away so our opponent can't cast their commander is going to be really powerful for us. Alright, well. I think we replay All Will Be One. Just accelerate midnight clock just a little bit. And we'll still have access to blue here, so we'll play this. Additional counter on midnight clock. 1 damage, ping down the borrower. Opponent's thinking about what to do here. Again, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually resolve spells, since we do have Wash Away being held up in hand. Ah, gotcha. Decent value. I'm going to keep the clock where it is. No attacks. Just holding up Wash Away here.
Phyrexia shows no mercy, so neither will I.
Exile the Gauntlet, most likely. No, they get rid of Resco.
First you, then your ghost.
Having a Resco token is pretty good for our opponent. Okay, now we can just play out Chandra here. Wipe the board. I kind of like that. We could also... No, I think the board wipe is the way to go. Additional counter, doesn't matter. We're going to keep the clock where it is because I want to hold on to Wash Away.
Ever see a volcano erupt in person? You're about to.
We get rid of our Flux Channeler here, but this is going to be worth it for sure.
Everyone knows
Clear the board.
Bigger explosions are more fun.
Go ahead, foretell that. Just getting this out of our hand for when Midnight Clock strikes midnight is going to be pretty big. And of course we can use this Saw It Coming to counter their Atraxa as well. We're really forcing our opponent to play slow here.
It's what you deserve.
Suit Swarm. That's fine. Again, no matter how many Skew Swarms they make, we can just deal with them with the Chandra. So I'm not too concerned. Can also go Liliana next turn, which I kind of like. So let's go Liliana here. Counter.
I am the master here.
3 damage, kill the Skew Swarms.
I've always wanted to make a really big fireball.
Alright. I think we want our zombie here, actually.
What a good, mindless minion.
And we'll end the turn. Of course, we'll get a new hand, and our opponent might feel more comfortable in casting out Atraxa, but we do have Saw It Coming to deal with that. If our opponent tries anything on our end step, we're going to tap the Midnight Clock to deal with that. Let's see. Yep, they're thinking about it. Okay, counter on Midnight Clock, sure. Sure. Brand new hand for us. Now we have Fatal Push. Could be good. My guess is they exile the Gauntlet? Quite possible. Nope. It's gonna burn us a little bit more.
Your time's almost up.
Yeah, we just counter you. Extra counter on our Liliana. Now, -9 on Lily is going to be game ending, and we can proliferate with the Chandra. Yep, they definitely had to get rid of our Gauntlet there. We'll grab Xander's Lounge, the most versatile of our lands. Okay, so let's go Nicol Bolas. Got lots of different options for what we can do here.
Throughout the multiverse.
We'll go ahead, exile that, get our Ragavan back, get rid of our opponent's Midnight Clock. I think we'll Bog here, get rid of their Graveyard. Plus, make a zombie. Plus, start pinging our opponent.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
We'll swing like this.
There goes my patience.
Yeah, I'm playing nice and slow. Alright, so we'll get to Scry here.
Gotta think on my feet.
I like Fairy Mastermind. We'll take that. Maybe we see Atraxa here. Destroy all creatures. I actually think I'd like to keep them. I think Ragavan's going to give us some solid value next turn as well. -9 on Lily is going to be insane. Alright, well, easy peasy fatal push you. Now, looks like we've got it. Alright, looks like we've got our opponent going first. But we can go ahead and keep this opening hand. This looks good. I like Sheoldred's Edict. I like Memory Lapse. We've got some strong early plays. Well, one of those two things is going to be leaving us. My guess is the Edict. But, yep, there we go. Start with our Dismal Blackwater. Next, we'll play Dark Slick Shores. We can flash in Fairy Mastermind and hold up the Memory Lapse. Again, Memory Lapse is really strong to have in hand because it is going to put our opponent one turn behind us. And Fairy Mastermind having Flash is also very strong here. They know we're holding at Memory Lapse. Flash and Fairy Mastermind. We might draw a counter here. But we do not. We will go ahead and play this land. Attack here. We get our damage. And it looks like we've got it. Alright. Alright, on the play, and we are up against Vorinclex. This looks good to me, so I'm gonna keep this opening hand. And we're gonna go ahead and start with the Dismal Blackwater. Next turn, I think we'll play the Bog and Inquisition our opponent. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do it like that. Lots of expensive cards. They'll play Cold Steel Heart. That's fine. We almost have Bolas. We're gonna pick red here. Hive. I'm actually okay drawing that. Next turn, we'll be able to cast Bolas. Sure. So Bolas, kill that, is going to be the plan.
The immortal recall for defiance has consequence.
Vorinclex. I think we Vraska, turn Vorinclex into a treasure. We can also play Shieldred here. But I think Vraska is going to be the way to go. You are a treasure now.
Metal is...
We can proliferate, draw a card, but I'd rather our opponent exile something from their hand.
My schemes are never-ending.
Treasure. Yep. Vorinclex is back. Sure. We're just gonna do the same thing again with Vraska. I mean, they'll keep being able to hit their land drops. You are a treasure now. Let's play out Teferi first.
The entire multiverse is at stake. I won't back down.
We have 3 planeswalkers, so I think proliferating is going to be better for us here. And it looks like we've got it. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed. As we were able to see here, once we get 2 or 3 planeswalkers down to the battlefield, it becomes really difficult for our opponents to deal with this. We also have a lot of ways to proliferate in this deck, so we're definitely playing that Superfriends style deck. We're getting all those counters on our planeswalkers, and we're able to use those abilities to functionally keep our opponent's creatures off the board. Right now, if I were to make any changes to this deck, I'd recommend maybe adding a little bit more board wipe, just because we can face some difficulty with a full board from our opponent. But we do have cards like Blood on the Snow, we've got Chandra, and we've got the Spiteful Banditry as well to do things like that, and our Planeswalker Suite is going to help us get that additional value as well. So it's not quite a needed upgrade, it's just a personal preference at that point if you'd rather deal with fewer creatures on your opponent's board. But all in all, this deck is a fun deck to play, and I would definitely recommend building it. Now, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any ideas for another deck you'd like to see me play, why don't you let me know in a comment down below. I'll see you all next time.